is 19.2. All right, so we're going to do several of these together. This will be a review. I want you to set up each one of the problems the way I set up the practice problems that we're going to do together. And then just as I'm just saying it again for those at home, this is considered the front of the worksheet, the one that says 19.2. You will do all of these. And then the second page is the one that has 18 problems. You only have to do all of the odd ones. The even ones you can do for bonus. Okay? All right. This will be a 10-point worksheet because there's 2 pages. If you do the bonus, it'll be 15 points out of 10. So just so you kind of know what you're working for. All right. So just like the video that you guys, the Ed Puzzle video that you were supposed to watch last week, this is a distribution problem. This is a distribution problem, even though it doesn't look like it is. But if this was a multiplication out to the side, you would know that you distributed the multiplication into everything into the polynomial. Well, a division sign, you do the same thing. You distribute that division to all terms inside. And it doesn't matter if there's 2 or 10, you still do that. So you're going to take this 9a and you are going to put it underneath each one of these separately. Okay, because they are separate problems that you are going to you're going to reduce separately. You write that 9a just a little better, so 9 and a kind of look alike. There we go. Now that you've done that, you don't have to worry about this anymore, the one hanging out to the side, okay? Now you have 3 separate problems to simplify, and you're going to simplify each one of them individually, okay? So looking at this first column, if you can think of it kind of in terms of columns here, right, you're going to reduce this one and this one and this one, all 3 of these separate. So your answer, you should always check this. If your original dividend or the number that you're dividing or the term you're dividing, if it has 3 terms, your answer needs to have 3 terms, okay? So just like I showed you guys how to do it in indicator 17, you should give yourself a line to build around and then reduce the number first. And this is just simply 1 over 9, so it stays 1 over 9. You can put the 1 there or not, I don't care. And then you look at your A's. Where do I have more on top? How many more? 2. So there's your answer. That's simplifying the first term. Now you simplify the middle term. 27 and 9 are both positive, so you're going to stick a positive sign there. And then you're going to give yourself a line, and you're going to reduce 27 over 9, which reduces to 3 on top. Okay? Then you're going to look and see, where do I have more A's on top? How many more? 1, and you're going to put an A there. Now, is there always a 1 on the bottom of every fraction? There is. Do you need to put it there? No. If you want to, just visually so you can see that you're ending up with 3 fractions. I'm going to show you the next step, which is to kind of clean up your answer. I'll show you how to do that. Then your next line over, or your next column over, again, 9 and 9 are positive, so you're going to give yourself a plus. Now, a lot of people's inclination here is to just say, well, they cancel out, so they go away, and they leave this as their answer. If you start out with 3 terms, you need to end with 3 terms. 9a over 9a reduces to 1, right? Anything exactly divided by itself is a 1. Now, you can leave it like this. I do not care, okay? I know how to look for the answers and see that that 1 doesn't need to go in the first term and the 1 doesn't need to be in the second term. I don't care. Or you can clean it up a little bit. And the reason I show you the cleaning up part is because on a multiple choice test, it's not going to look like this. It's going to be cleaned up, and I want you to be able to kind of see. So in this first term, if I were to clean that up, I would not write the 1. So I would write a squared over 9. The middle term, I would clean up by not writing it over 1, so it would just be 3a. And that last term just stays a 1. So that is what it's going to look like if it's a multiple choice test. This right here is what it's going to look like. Now, on non-multiple choice tests where you're just writing out the answer, I don't care which one of these 2 you leave it, okay? I'm fine with either one, okay? And again, started out with 3 terms in that polynomial. I need to end up with 3 terms in my answer, okay? Can't combine anything because there's no like terms. All right, so we'll do one more of these and then we'll flip over to the back. So again, right, we're going to take that 4m squared and we are going to put it under each one of our terms. And now we have 3 separate monomial divided by a monomial, okay? And once I do that, I don't need this because I've now distributed that division amongst each one of the terms. And now my answer, right, and I can see everything's plus, so I'm just going to go ahead and put, now I'm ready to just start simplifying and building around all my lines, okay? So in my first term, I have 2 over 4, which reduces to 1/2. And then I have 3 m's on top and 2 m's on bottom. So you look, where do you have more on top? How many more? 1. So the m goes on top. Then I go to my middle term. 16 over 4 reduces to 4 over 1. And m squared and m squared reduces to 1. So you don't have to write another 1. You already have 1's in there. But m squared over m squared reduces to 1. So you don't have any m's in that middle term. And then 20 over 4 reduces to 5 over 1. And m over m squared, well, where do you have more m's? In the bottom, how many more? 1. So you can leave it like that. If you would like to clean it up, you could write m over 2 plus 4 plus 5 over m. So cleaning it up just basically gets rid of all those extra ones that you popped in there when you were building your answer. Okay? Don't ever need a 1 on the bottom, but if there's nothing else up top, you always need a 1 up top. Can't leave the top of a fraction blank. Okay? Now let me just zoom out and make sure that there's nothing here that stands out as odd. I don't think so. Let's do number 4. All right, so we're going to put 8r underneath each one of these terms. And then we're going to reduce each one of them. So give myself a line. Everything's plus, so I'm going to stick all my plus signs in there. 3 divided by 8, can that be reduced? Nope, so it just stays 3 over 8. Don't overthink it, okay? If it can't be reduced, leave it. Where do you have more r's? On top, how many more do you have? 2. So there's that one reduced. Then you go to the middle term. 2 over 8 reduces to 1 over 4. And then where do you have more r's? Up top, how many more? 1. And then again, 3 over 8 can't be reduced, so you just leave it unreduced, and then your r's cancel out. Okay? All right. Any questions on any that you just kind of glance at first sight on the front and think, I'm not sure about that one? Okay, go ahead and flip it over to the back. Okay, so the back, it's the exact same thing. It's just set up a little bit different. And, right, they already have that 6x squared kind of underneath the 24, so I'm going to leave it there. But I'm also going to put 6x squared underneath the first term, and I'm going to put 6x squared underneath the second term. Now, just because there is one giant line, your answer is still going to be 3 separate monomials, okay? You're not going to leave one giant line. You are still going to give yourself a line to build around, a plus sign, a line to build around, a plus sign, and a line to build around. These are still going to be 3 separate answers in the end, okay? So don't lose that just because they're set up a little bit different. We still break these down into columns, and our answer should still be 3 separate answers, okay? So looking at that first term, 16 over 8 reduces to 3 over 1. Where do you have more x's? On top, how many more? 2. So x squared is your first term there. That middle section, 24 over 6, reduces to 4 over 1. And then where do you have more x's? Up top, how many more? 1. And then whoops, is that a no, it's a plus sign. And then on that last term, 30 over 6 is 5 over 1. And where do you have more x's? Well, they're identical, so they reduce to a 1. And then this one, to clean up, right, you could just have 3x squared plus 4x plus 5, because nothing ended up being in the bottom. And that's because your divisor was either smaller than or equal to all of the exponents in your top. So you didn't end up with anything in the bottom. Okay. Let's see. I want to do, I'm looking for one specific here. There we go. Let's do number 15. All right. Everything's plus. Is everything plus on all of these? Number 11 isn't. So watch that. It looks like that's kind of weird and random, but number 11 looks like it's going to be the only one where that last sign is going to be a negative sign. Okay. We might even do that one. Okay, so number 15, everything's plus, so I'm going to give myself a line to build, a plus, a line to build, a plus, and a line to build. Okay, there's my three terms that I know I'm going to end up with. 32 divided by 8 is 4 over 1. Where do I have more ends? Whoops, what didn't I do? Always do this. I know it seems like a silly step, but trust me, it will help. Okay, all right. So 32 over 8 reduces to 4 over 1. Where do I have more ends? Top, how many more? 4. My middle term is 5 over 1. Where do I have more ends? Top, how many more? 3. And then that last term, 8 over 8 reduces to 1, right? 1 over 1. And then where do I have more ends? Top, how many more do I have? 2. So you end up with n squared. And again, you can just clean this up by not having any of those top terms there, okay? Just be careful. I'm going to let you guys go, but just be careful of number 11. You're going to have actually a line, a plus, a line, a minus sign, and a line because of that middle or that last minus sign. All right, again, odds on this back sheet, evens for bonus on the front side. Everything is what is due. Let me know if you have any questions, guys.